Welcome everyone to Nerd the Rings. We've got another fun unboxing today. This is Gandalf the White on Shadowfax, and as you can see, we've got Helm's Deep as the base here. So we're really leaning into that iconic moment in the Two Towers where Gandalf and Éomer, that is Erkenbrand in the books, by the way, but Gandalf and Éomer show up in the films and save the day at dawn coming from the east. So let's get right to it and open this thing up. Now this is a 1/10 scale statue. All right, here we go. I guess we'll start with the base. That kind of makes the most sense. So here we have the fortress at Helm's Deep, known as the Hornburg. So there we go. We've got the Hornburg and the greater, area military structure of Helm's Deep. We've got a bit of the mountains in the back here. And as we can see, the wall is already blasted apart. So we are well into the battle, or in the aftermath of the battle, if you want to look at it like that. We're in the aftermath of the battle. So if you're familiar with the structure of Helm's Deep, you'll see up here at the top, this is where Gimli blows the horn of Helm Hammerhand. You see the horns down the side of this tower here. Like I mentioned, we've got the wall that's busted apart. Here's the causeway where Aragorn and Theoden ride out in their last stand. And then up here we have the hall. So this is where they, charge out of in that last desperate act and make their way around the structure. So there we go. Cool base for the statue here. And now let's get the pieces out. I can tell right away which one is which. So here's the majestic Shadowfax, the great white horse as he is depicted in the films. He's actually, if you read in the books, it's kind of hinted at that he might actually be kind of gray in color. So that's kind of an interesting little tidbit for you. They've got his legs kind of rest on the mountainside there, so that's kind of a nice way to keep that secure. Tail, there we go. Put the horse's tail on, that would probably be helpful. Which way does it go? Let's see here. There we go. Shadowfax's tail. And then we have Gandalf. He's missing his arm and his staff, so let's get those there. I gotta admit, I kind of like Gandalf just like this, Like maybe you could put him there. It looks very like Ganyam style, maybe a little bit. No, probably not. No. Okay. Back to business here. Let's put Gandalf on here. There we go. And I noticed, I was really curious what this was. He has like a bit of white in his hand there. That's where he's holding on to Shadowfax's mane. That goes right there, and his hand meets the mane. We've got his staff held aloft. As in the movies, we see that great shot where the sun peeks up over the mountainside, and it kind of like blinds the orcs and everything as they're charging, and Gandalf has his staff up in the air. So there we go. We've got Gandalf the White on Shadowfax. Now this is a 1/10 scale statue, and it is made by Iron Studios. So shout out to Iron Studios for immortalizing this iconic moment from the films as depicted with Sir Ian McKellen in Peter Jackson's trilogy. And if you're curious, dimension-wise, it says it's about 16.5 inches tall, 16.5 inches deep. So that's like Shadowfax's tail to the front of Helm's Deep, and then about 8.5 inches wide as we're looking at it from the side here. And it comes in at just over 12.5 pounds, so it's got a pretty good heft to it. Like, it definitely feels substantial, which I always like when it comes to statues and collectibles. And like I mentioned, this is a 1/10 scale statue. We've looked at some 1/6 scales before. Obviously, this is 1/10 because It has like the entire horse and everything on it, but pretty comparable, I'd say, in height to a lot of the 1/6 scales that we've seen. It would be just a bit too tall for my bookshelf here, for the middle bookshelves, because of Gandalf's staff. But about, I'd say about decent bookshelf height, but it might need to go on the top shelf here. And one of the things, just kind of looking over the piece, that I really like about this is some of the textures. Like, Shadowfax has a hint of, the hair that a horse would have. But you look at like the fabric pattern of some of Gandalf's garments, like in particular, I don't know if you'd call this a tunic, but the layer just underneath his cloak in particular has kind of a cool pattern to it. And then the cloak itself has dirty edges at the bottom, which is a detail that you will notice from the films, that the bottom of his cloak is naturally a bit dirty. I mean, the guy's been traveling around riding on horses and stuff, trying to save Middle Earth, He's not going to go to the dry cleaners every so often. I mean, he's got better things to do than that. Come on. Well, there you go, guys. It is Gandalf the White on Shadowfax, 1/10 scale statue from Iron Studios. Huge shout out to our friends over at Collector Zone. They're the ones who sent me this statue so that I could unbox it and share it with you guys today. Check out their link in the description. And once again, just a reminder, you can save 15% off your order with them with the code NOTR. So if you're interested in this or any other Lord of the Rings piece from various awesome studios that we've had here on the channel, or other nerdy properties as well. They've got, Star Wars, Marvel, all kinds of great stuff. So check them out, collectorzone.com, and don't forget to use that code. And we'll see you at the next unboxing here on Nerd of the Rings.